Hello everyone, welcome to day 17 of my 77-day video challenge. Today I am going to talk to you all about one of my favorite books is this, The Success Principles by Mr. Jack Canfield. I read that book almost 10 years back, but even today, I remember some of those principles crystal clear in my mind, and I use them even today not only to set goals but also achieve them using some of those principles. Now, let me share some aspects of what I learned from that book with you all today. So, the very first thing, it is very interesting. Let me share what it is. It talks about it is a general myth in the culture that some believe we are entitled to a great life filled with happiness and all that somehow somewhere somebody, certainly not us, is responsible to fill our life with continued happiness, nurtured relationships, and exciting career opportunities simply because we exist. Simply because we exist. But the truth is, if there is anybody, if there is only one person who is responsible for the quality of life we have, it is none other than ourselves. That those were the first few sentences of that book, and they were, believe me, they were really eye opener. Not just eye opener, maybe my mind opener. It was just a profound thing, and it really changed my life, those words, I would say, because I was one of those people who used to, maybe in some extent, if not all my goals, for some goals at least, I used to think they themselves will get fulfilled with no much intervention from myself, simply because I have set them. That was my mindset in those days. But then later, I learned all about how to take responsibility, and taking 100% responsibility is the most important thing. Taking responsibility for not only our successes, but even for our failures as well. That is the most important first principle what we need to adopt in order to achieve whatever further success in our life. So that is what was my first lesson, what I learned from that. Taking 100% responsibility for everything, including failures also in my life. That is the first thing. Then the second thing, what I learned is kind of a blueprint, I would say, or a structure for the entire setting goal system. It starts from that time. I used to not understand like a clear way of how do we set our goals, or what is purpose, or what is vision, and all these things. They were all different words for me. But then this book gave me a structure. Like for example, first it talks about finding your purpose. Finding your purpose, it asks us three questions. So the first question is, what are you good at? What are your unique strengths? What are your unique skills that you think that you are really talented about? So writing just couple of things what we are good at. And then the second question is, what you love to do using those strengths or those skills what you have. So identifying one or two jobs that we want to do using those skills. And then the third one is what world needs, like, or how we can serve others, how we can support in the community using these jobs and using those skills what we have. If you can identify, or if you can combine all those three things together, then we found our purpose. That is the first thing. So I did some exercises whatever were given in that book, and then I find my purpose to some extent. Then the next thing, it talks about vision. So what is the vision you have for your entire life, like a 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or lifetime? What do you think you want to be in a certain criteria? It's not just one thing in your lifetime, or it gives you some kind of a sections like financially, or professionally, personally, or recreation, or family, or maybe to the community, how you want to serve the community. So these sections, again, doing some exercises, I could see what I want to see myself in those particular criteria. That is the second thing, vision. And then comes your goals. So once you have your vision, this is what I want to achieve, maybe career wise or maybe personally, then you can set some goals in that particular space. Maybe 1 year goals, then 6 months working backwards, 6 months, 3 months, then you get your daily goals. So that kind of gave me a structure or a blueprint, I would say, on which I built using maybe some other principles from some other books what I read and everything. But even today I follow that structure to set up anything. So that is the second thing what I learned from that book. And then the third one is all about tools. What tools you will use to achieve that success. So the book talks about two tools. One is visualization and second is about affirmations. I love both of them. I can't even figure out which one most, but visualization, let me talk about that. So we know visualization, right? If you want to achieve something, or seeing yourself how you want to be instead of how you are right now. Most of the athletes use this process, most of the players use this process of seeing themselves. I use this enormously in multiple things. Like for example, when I'm training for my marathons, for example. So physically, maybe I used to train myself, but mentally also, I used to see myself crossing that 5th mile, 10th mile, 15th mile, or maybe crossing that finish line and getting that medal in my hand. So those kind of things I used enormously, the visualization. Even speaking, I used to go around speaking in Toastmasters conferences, or any educational sessions I used to conduct, see myself on that stage sharing my message and conveying whatever I wanted to convey in that particular speech on that particular day. So seeing ourselves, it seems they also say, right, like all our development in our life happens once we have development in our mental images, how we see ourselves. So that is one thing I really stick to, and I always practice that visualization. And second thing is affirmations. Even I love affirmations also. It is nothing but simple statements like what you want to achieve in your life, and talking to yourself. Like sometimes we find ourselves so much negative self-talk happens in our day-to-day life, right? So and we know the most important words we speak in our day is what we say to ourselves. So we need to be cognizant of that fact, and we need to be monitoring what we are saying to ourselves. I mean, sometimes, yes, we might demotivate ourselves, or sometimes we might say negative words, but not for a pretty long time. We need to catch ourselves, and we need to turn that dialogue, internal dialogue, to what we want to achieve in our life. Sometimes even I heard about this mirror exercises, right? Many athletes even do that as well. First thing in the morning, when they are seeing themselves in the mirror, so talking to yourself, cheering yourself, smiling with a big smile to yourself, and also telling yourself you are going to have a great day, and whatever dream you're working on, maybe that dream, I am so and so. They all need to be in the present tense, and whatever you want to achieve. And sometimes my even my family members catch me doing that crazy talk in the mirror sometimes, but that's okay. It's not craziness, it is some different efficient tool what we will use in order to achieve our dreams. So those are the two tools, what I learned from that book. And not only just these three things, there is much more about how do you maybe using a mind mapping, using a that goals, how do you make them a more granular level, and how you set a goal, many more things. So those are all things, but these three things stand out for me. So the first thing is taking 100% responsibility for your life, including your failures. And second thing is maybe getting a blueprint of what you want in your life, or where you want to be in 5, 10, 15 years or lifetime. And then the last thing is all about how do we achieve those goals, what are the tools I use to achieve those goals. I know I read that book 10 years back, I said, but as I said, some of those principles are crystal clear even today to me. And whenever I want some motivation, I pick up that book, and even today, even if I turn to any page, I learn something from that book. Friends, I would like to tell you, if in this year, if you would like to read few books, please consider one of those books, this one, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. I hope you enjoyed this session. I'll see you all in my next. Thank you.